Hi, John Schneider here and Matt McGrady. We're at 45 South Fair Oaks again. We're going to walk you guys through the project as it's coming along here, and Matt's been the project manager on this, so why don't we go in and take a look what's been happening and see what we can show these guys.
Sounds good. All right, this is your classic 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow here in a fantastic neighborhood in Madison. We really wanted to try to keep the character of this house, but we also had some challenges with needing a new kitchen and a new bathroom. So we are about 95% of the way through. We still have to do some things with the first floor, the floors in particular, and then clean up, paint, touch up, quality control issues, and then we're gonna list and put it on the market. So,
Matt, tell me a little bit about what we did here with the bathroom. You'll see the before, we'll snap a picture of that, but there was a really unfunctional bathroom here. Yes. How did we redo that space?
Well, this was the tiniest bathroom that I've ever come across, and we had a old green crappy tub and kind of stuffed on that side of the bathroom. Then there was room for the toilet, and then there was no room for the vanity sink. So we had an old little triangle sink here in the corner. It was a very vintage piece, but it wasn't gonna work with today's buyers. So we wanted to basically figure out a way to open up this floor plan. We didn't have a lot of options. We have some heating water pipes running through the wall here, but we did come up with a solution. So we just pushed this wall back. It's a non-load bearing wall, so fairly easy project there. We pushed everything back and it made room for a really nice tub surround kit with a bench, and hopefully giving buyers a little bit more of what they need in today's lifestyle.
Yeah, we ended up with a nice little closet here, linen closet or coat closet as you come in.
So we just tried to make the use of all of the space, even though we had some challenges, so we just added what wasn't here before, which is a nice coat closet for the homeowner.
Yeah, and as we got through the project and tore the old floors up, yes, we noticed that we had great hardwood floors here, right? Yes. And one of the challenges that we came up with is there's actually 2 species of wood. In this room here in the living room, we've got oak, and in the kitchen area, we have maple. And when you're staining those 2 woods, you're not gonna get the same color. Oak sucks in the stain quite a bit more than what you'd see in maple. So we're gonna have to have somebody come in. You can see that this was done at one point, and those floors are just not matching. So we're gonna do our best to blend them. Although they won't be perfect, we will be able to keep the original wood in the house.
Yeah, we're very excited for the before and after on these floors. Working with a good contractor here, but we realized that it took a floor specialist to kind of solve our problem. And those are one of those projects that you really don't know until you sand it and then try to get a coat of stain on it. That's when we're like, all right, time to bring in a flooring expert.
Yeah, and then this added what, maybe $6,000 to the overall cost?
Actually, a little bit less than that, although we're not at the end, so who knows. But in terms of budget, we had a $45,000 budget on this house. Labor and all things in right now, I think we're at about $37,500. It'll probably be about $40,000, $42,000 when we're all said and done. So we definitely have a chance to get in under budget, which is, for me as the project manager, something that doesn't happen all the time. So it's fantastic we can get this done.
Yeah, and it's a great job here with our contractors getting in really unique countertops. I love these butcher block tops in the kitchen. We don't have all the appliances in yet, but it'll be a stainless steel appliance package. It is amazing how far you can stretch a buck these days by just doing things efficiently, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. But we're happy, we were able to get a dishwasher into the kitchen. This used to be just an old porcelain sink. All of the plumbing throughout the house was in terrible shape, something we didn't really know until we tore open walls. And once that happens in the city of Madison, you're redoing all of the plumbing. So that did create another challenge, but we got through it. Just kind of things that happen on these type of projects. But we are very close to the finish line. We have hardwoods being worked on this weekend, and then come mid to late next week, we should be ready to come for the final video and work on staging and getting it listed.
So we're just gonna take a quick second, go upstairs, and show you guys what the rest of the house looks like. Okay, so we're upstairs. We actually had these floors refinished already, and we're not 100% sure if we like it. There is a lot of chatter in the sanding. You can see the lines here, And to some degree in these older houses, it kind of gives it a little character. It's kind of like, barnwood that's been nicked up, And for me, I don't mind it, and I feel like it kind of gives it an older feel, yet it's fresh and cleanly stained. So I personally like it, but we're debating on what we want to do.
Sure, yeah. The dilemma, I think, is we have the flooring expert coming to fix the first floor. And so should we send him up here and have him sand these down and try to fix some of the imperfections? But to be honest, I do agree. It's a floor that has a lot of character in it, and it looks pretty good. It's very clean, and I think it's possible that we could just run with what we've got here.
Yeah, and I mean, if we either save the money, a couple $1,000s,
sure,
or we take that extra expense and see if we can polish it up just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So exactly. And then we'll already have him here. So if it was a time issue and he wasn't going to be able to get back, I would say absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But since we're going to have him here for the lower level, maybe he's able to throw this in and it's $1,500 or $1,200 and everything's perfect. So we have a decision there to make. All right. So what are we talking about? We did windows here. And looks like
actually, when we purchased this house, we had windows on some of the house, not all of it. So we just stuck with what we've got. However, everything got a bright white trim facelift, some new light fixtures. We were able to find some new hardware for the doors to just kind of make them look old and classic and keep the original doors. Which is something we're trying to do with this house, just to
Did we do the entire door handle here? Is this all new, or is it just the knob itself?
So what you're touching is all brand new. So that all came off. We didn't have to do too much labor with the door. Those pieces were able to fit. So we just recycled store, came in handy again.
Yeah, and instead of replacing a whole door for $500-600 plus tearing out the frame and then having to re-level everything, we're able to replace the hardware, paint it, and save some money and keep that old feel. I mean,
yes. A classic feel-good story.
Yeah, same thing with this door hot knob here.
Yeah,
and you can see it. And it's funny, when you try replacing doors like this in these 100-year-old homes, they're all little kitty wampus.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quite level. You try to tear it out, the carpenters are trying to get a new door in, and it just doesn't go in as easily as you expect. So we do like to keep them when we can, because it does, it eliminates the problem and costs that come into play when potentially you run into some issues.
Yeah, and time.
I really do like that we stuck with this classic trim.
Sure.
And you don't see that little additive on houses much anymore because it's just a lot of labor.
Yeah.
And even when we added the closet doors over here, we stuck with it. The trim, the baseboard looks great. It is a boiler heat system here, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, it's actually a brand new system.
Do you know, what do you see as the benefits, especially in Wisconsin, for a boiler heat system?
Well, one thing that you get is a totally different style of heat. So with the furnace, obviously, it's going to be a central air furnace system that's blowing air throughout. With the boiler heat, it's more of a radiant heat, obviously, so you're not going to have as much allergens floating through the air. It's a little bit cleaner. It's not going to be as dry as a central air. So, and honestly, it's just as efficient when you get a brand new boiler in the basement. So we did get lucky with some things that the previous homeowner had already done. And then, yeah, with the classic old trim, we're able to match above the doors. We get really lucky in situations like this because we can blend in new doors, and honestly, it doesn't just jump out at you like it does, a cookie cutter house.
So why don't we go downstairs here and just take a look at some of the guts of the house, and we can talk about what we changed and had to change to make this house, more set for modern living and provide some more value for families.
Let's go.
So here we are down in the basement, and one of the first things that just strikes me right away is how nice and clean the basement is for a 100-year-ish old home. We've been having just monsoon rains down in Wisconsin here for the last month and a half, 2 months.
Yes.
And it is incredibly dry down here. I do not see any water intrusion. I don't see any staining on the walls. Overall, it just seems to be a very well put together basement for its age. And that's a really big thing when you're buying a house of this age.
Yeah, we did have to get into some electrical and some plumbing updates, and in the city of Madison, once you touch one thing, you have to kind of start and do it all over. So with the electrical, you'll see the original panel on the left there, and then we added what they call as a sidecar panel, which basically just added a bunch of amperage you can see there, and it allowed us to get the new wiring for the kitchen and the bathroom passed by the city. The other issue was plumbing. So we had quite a plumbing issue over here. We had toilets that needed to be moved. And then obviously trying to get a dishwasher in, we had to convert all the new plumbing. So that was a pretty expensive bill. It was $5,500 all in for what is a new stack, new service lines coming into the kitchen, which is above us right here. This is part of the new stack. The previous owners had this awful sink that was totally falling apart here with all this killywampus plumbing up in the corner. All that was taken out and redone. We had to transition some of the heating pipes, so there was some new copper pipes that just bridged the gaps between some of the sections of pipe that we had to take out. So we've gotten that all approved. Again, it was a fairly expensive plumbing bill on this one, but we got lucky with the electrical side of it, so one budget went up and the other one came down, and it all kind of
What was the total electrical and plumbing budget on this?
We had $1,500 in labor. There's probably about $500 in materials for electric,
Cool.
and then the plumbing was just an all-in $5,500 bill, including labor and materials.
Which isn't bad. We've been able to work with some great contractors on this. We work with guys consistently and are able to give them a lot of work and get some decent pricing on things.
We were talking about the heating system upstairs, and this is the boiler system. And one of these systems, I don't know the exact age of that, but we inherited this and had it checked out by our plumber. Everything is all working and good to go, and this should be a very efficient system moving forward for the new homeowner.
Boiler systems are notoriously last a very long time.
Yes.
You can get 30 years out of them with many times. I mean, I've come down in basements where the boiler system is 50 years old and still running.
Yeah. The one downside with boilers is you don't have central air conditioning. A house like this, 2 efficient window air conditioners will get you all the AC that you need. So we're just kind of rolling with what we inherited and building out the new, and this project came together very nicely. We're very excited about it.
Yeah, if you just take a look behind you, these are actually exposed radiators. So this is giving heat to the basement, and that's what you actually would see behind the radiators on the baseboards in the upper area if they weren't covered by those shields. All right, so we're back up here. We just want to talk a little bit about the budget. This particular project took us a little bit longer than we anticipated. In fact, we put it on the market to sell it kind of as its raw shell initially, because we had so many projects going on that we just couldn't get here in time.
That's right.
So we decided, hey, let's just put it on the market and see what happens. And it didn't sell the way we wanted it to. We took it off the market and we started the remodel.
Yeah. What was interesting during that process, though, is we did talk to a lot of realtors and talked about maybe the top end price should we get all the remodeling done the way that we originally talked about it. So the purchase price for us was $215. The budget that we had in mind was $45. And we originally were thinking we'd get $325, $350 for the house on a good day. It sounds like that range might be $350 to $375. So we're very excited to kind of get to the finish line, which should be happening next week, and then putting it on the market, and then we find out if we're right or we're wrong. But either way, I think we're going to be real excited about the end result as a team. It's been a lot of fun working on this project.
Yeah, and I always think those numbers are a little bit misleading because there's interest expense, there's the cost to find these properties and acquire them, there's the real estate fees, there's everything that comes into the process. But it's really rewarding when you can make a property, really bring it back to life and give it a fresh new look for the community. Hopefully we make a good return on this one, especially when you're having challenges. We had some pretty significant challenges and we still came out. And hats off to you, Matt, on your project management here.
Thank you.
This is really coming together. I'm excited to see the end product.
Yeah, me too.
Looking forward to talking to you guys when we're all done, showing you what we've got. Hopefully we can sell this house and show you the final numbers on it all. And until then, you can always reach us at Living a Midwest Life. You can look us up online. Again, John and Matt, and Michelle's behind the camera. We always thank her. So you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you sometime soon.